Hi, everyone, and welcome to TWF Impact or Hit. I, Joey Styles, with Jonathan Coachman and with Aiden English. And then today on Impact or Hit, we have a good show here today on Impact or Hit. As we know, that there's a lot of things going on here in Toy Wrestling Gathering. It always has been, Joey Styles. It says we have Asuka going to meet LA Knight for the TWF heavyweight winnings, and that's coming up, later this month. And we want to see how that's going to play out between the two. Well, as we do know one thing, Jonathan Coachman said Asuka has been a good TWF heavyweight fighter. Not flawless, but she's been good. I mean, she's beat everyone that has been in the ring with her. And at the end of the day, I don't know if anyone will be ready for Asuka or not. Well, I could tell you, Aiden English says being good. I could tell you right now, Aiden English says being good or not. Being good or not doesn't mean that you're not unstoppable and you're not unyieldable, because you are. But I don't know who's going to win between Asuka and LA Knight. I can tell you that. Well, I can tell you one thing right now. Whoever wins, between those two, who are they going to be fighting next? Who are they going to be fighting next? Uh-oh. We got Divatox in the ring, and we haven't seen Divatox in months, or a long time. And we got Eric Bischoff in the ring. Alright, me and Divatox have been thinking, and it's about time we started up our war again with Stephanie McMahon and Astronomer. You see, long before Divatox even got here, I was here first, and I had to deal with a lot of shit. And let's just be earnest, Stephanie wasn't really here yet. I mean, yeah, they did get a first doll of her, but it broke. Then they got that 2-wick doll of hers, then they got a new one. And I think by now it's time that we both get even on those who wronged us. Stephanie McMahon didn't only wrong me in the TWF, she wronged me in WWE. And I know you're like, well, don't you mean Stephanie Kamicki? Oh yeah, the ring name that she was going by when she was working in the TWF. I mean, yeah, Vince Kamicki, he did have a son, Shane Kamicki. Or was there a Stephanie Kamicki? Nah, Stephanie Kamicki. Let's be honest about that. That was like the ring name that she came up with when she was here. So, the way I look at it is, that was all the past. This is the now. So, that may have been the ring name that they were, in time for me to get even on you. You're right, Eric. See, I came to the Toy Wrestling Gathering at the end of 2012, YL. And Astronomer wasn't even here yet. I mean, yeah, there was some doll that was passing herself as it and off in those early days, but she didn't show up. And then what happened? I was gone. So now it's time for me and Astronomer to get even on Stephanie McMahon and Astronomer, who we all know think they're so great, but they're not. So let's just say that the both of us are taking over. Well, Joey Styles says, we haven't heard from Eric Bischoff and Divatox in years or months, and now all of a sudden, now they're around now. All of a sudden, now they want to have a say in everything. All of a sudden, now they want to get even, with Astronema or Corone or Stephanie McMahon, or do we call her Stephanie Kamicki? I don't know. Well, all right, we're gonna have to take the Y speaker away and see what we can do. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Get the ring out of the way. Are we going to have a match here today? Well, here's Astronema, and here's Stephanie McMahon. So you chose to come back, You chose to come back, Diva Talks. What is it this time? What are you and Eric Bischoff pulling? You truly think that you can win and take the leadership away from us here in the Toy Wrestling Gathering? Are you crazy? I understand. I understand this whole thing. I understand Diva Talk. I know, Astronema. You dealt with Diva Talks, and I dealt with Eric Bischoff. So the way I look at it is, we're mostly one and the same. So if they want to have a match, us fight them. I don't know about you, Astronema. I mean, you got your raft staff, you got your flying ring. You might have to take all that off if you want to step in the wrestling ring. But me, I don't think I really have to worry all that much. Eric, you're on. Diva Talks, you're on. We'll have a team, you have a team. And then we'll see who is still around, who's not. Well, Joey Styles says we heard from Astronema, the force setter, and the force setter and head leadership wicker of the Toy Wrestling Gathering, and Stephanie McMahon, the under force setter of the TWF, and they're taking up Eric Bischoff, and they're taking up Diva Talks and Eric Bischoff up on their deal. And who will it be? I mean, who will be the one that's going to take them up on their deal? Well, and here comes here is Becky Lynch. If you're looking for someone who can bring a fight, well then, Eric, Diva Talks, put me on your team. Because at the end of the day, whoever Astronema or Stephanie come up with, it's not going to be as good as whoever I come up with. So whoever they choose to come up with, they're just going to get their rears handed to them. So I'll be on your team. And who's going to be, and whoever they're going to choose to be on their team, well, we'd say, oh, well, it sucks to be them now, doesn't it? Well, here it comes. It's Sin Cara. So you think you want to fight for Diva Talks and Eric Bischoff? You lost your mind. I'm going to fight for Astronema and Stephanie, because at least with Astronema and Stephanie McMahon, at least we all have a luck. If we were all working underneath Diva Talks and Eric Bischoff, things would really be bad. Well, who gives a shit what you think? Well, there's a fight lore in the ring now, so I guess this match is going to happen. Ding ding ding. Well, and Sin Cara saying that working underneath Diva Talks and Eric Bischoff would be the worst thing that they could ever do. Joey Styles says a moonsaw down on Becky Lynch, Joey Styles says. Jonathan Coachman says, we didn't know why Eric Bischoff and Diva Talks came back and why they started their war with Stephanie McMahon and Astronema. Which we all know they are good friends in true life. You know, Jonathan Coachman says. Aiden English says, I'll tell you what. Oh! I'll tell you what, Aiden English says. Eric Bischoff, when he was the leadership under Four-Setter WCW from 9 between 94 while to 9 between 99 while, brought the fight to WWF. And Diva Talks, when she was the main evildoer, the Mic Keepers, 9 between 97 while, yeah, she didn't do all that well, but she was the only one to ever beat them by blowing up their headstead. Aiden English says. You're right, Joey Styles says. Both Eric Bischoff and Diva Talks both happen to be good at what they did. But Diva Talks got Astronema took over for Diva Talks. Eric Bischoff was sent home by the Time Warner Turner Broadcasting leaders that were done dealing with him, Joey Styles says. Well, Jonathan Coachman said we can talk about some of the things that Astronema and Stephanie McMahon were good at. We just missed it. The manhandle slam, Joey Styles says. And Becky Lynch says she wants to fight for Diva Talks and Eric Bischoff. I think that's a mistake, Joey Styles says. Yeah, I think Becky Lynch made a mistake when she chose to fight for Diva Talks and Eric Bischoff, I believe. No, she picked the right team, Aiden English says. Fighting for Diva Talks and Eric Bischoff is more good than fighting for Astronema and Stephanie McMahon. 1, 2, and a kick out. And Becky Lynch not happy. Now she's picking up Sin Cara and she threw him out of the ring. Now this match should be thrown out, Joey Styles says. Well, Jonathan Coachman said if we're going by the old NWA oversight that used to be there, or the WCW oversight in 9 between 92 to 9 between 93 while, when Bill Watts was the leadership under Four-Setter WCW, then yeah, that would have been thrown out. And Sin Cara's coming back going, oh! Manhandle slam, Joey Styles says. Yeah, this match is over, Jonathan Coachman says. Yeah, well, Astronema and Stephanie should be truly happy with Sin Cara, the loser, who wants to fight for them, Aiden English says. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner. Here is your winner, Becky Lynch. So once again, Becky Lynch has beat Sin Cara here today. Has beat Sin Cara, here today on Impact or Hit, Joey Styles says. And I can tell you right now that things are not going to be, that good. And we don't want Diva Talks and Eric Bischoff to have any leadership oversight here in the Toy Wrestling Gathering. Yeah, Jonathan Coachman says, we don't want to have to be working underneath Diva Talks and Eric Bischoff. Well, Aiden English says, like you think working underneath Astronema and Stephanie McMahon is a good thing, Aiden English says. Hell, it could be a bad thing. You don't know. They could flip-flop to themselves. All right, take it away now, Gene Okerlund. All right, thank you, Joey Styles and Jonathan Coachman. I'm going to be talking with Eric Bischoff and Diva Talks here today in the Toy Wrestling Gathering. These two came out of nowhere, been gone for years or months, and all of a sudden now they're back again. So I guess we got to deal with that. All right, Diva Talks, Eric Bischoff. It isn't the first time or the last, okay, it's not the first time or the last time that it's not the first time or last time that I stick a small speaker in front of you folks. I've talked to you many times, Eric Bischoff, from between 94 YL to 20, and Diva Talks had my dealings of you since 2012 YL. Well, I can tell you one thing right now, Gene Okerlund. Me and Eric Bischoff, we will be running the TWF once again. We will get even on Astronema and Stephanie McMahon. It's about time that we get back at them for what they did to us. I was the main wicker of the toy wrestling gathering. I was the main owner. I was the main business wicker. I was here before she showed up. I had many matches. I won straps. And she comes in the end of 2020 YL, like she did to me in between 98 YL, and takes all my thunder away from me. Well, Astronema, it's not happening. Eric? You know, Gene Okerlund, when my first run in WWE 20 YL to about 2007 YL, I had to war with Stephanie McMahon, who then was the main wicker of SmackDown when I was the with main wicker of Raw. And she made my life a living hell. But who was the last man standing? Me. She got fired after she lost the I Yield match to her father. Paulie dangerously thought he could outdo me, and he was out in a year and a half. Kurt Angle didn't last, and I was still there when Theodore Long took over for Kurt Angle. Well, that's all true, Eric, but then you got yourself fired, thrown into a clutter lorry, and then Vince McMahon took your spot for a year and a half. So, I guess it didn't work out for you after all. But you know something, I was the longest main wicker of Raw from 2002 YL till 2005 YL. No one has been the main wicker of Raw longer than me. Well, Adam Pearce has been the main wicker of Raw since 2020 YL, and I think he's surpassed you in how many years you were the main wicker of Raw. I would also have to say that when Steven Regal was the main wicker of NXT for the 2-week time, he surpassed you as the longest main wick, being the longest main wicker of a show. And are you going to say something about how you're going to say something about how Astronema suppose did more things than me? I only had to step down because Kurt Angle, my overseer, had me fired and named Astronema to come in. I only took the work because Dark Spectre told me that I had to step down for the bitch. It's not happening again. We will get even on Astronema and Stephanie McMahon. And we will be running things here in the Toy Wrestling Gathering, Gene Okerlund. Fuck the new blood. We're just going to call it the new breed. Or we can call it the Bischoff Diva Talks team. Whatever you want to call it, it's going to be a nightmare when I get even on Stephanie McMahon and we get even on Astronema. Well, that's my talk with Eric Bischoff and Diva Talks back to you, Joey Styles and Jonathan Coachman. Well, thank you, Gene Okerlund, for talking with Diva Talks and Eric Bischoff here today on on Impact or Hit. And that's all the time we've got here for Impact or Hit. I, Joey Styles, for I, Jonathan Coachman, for I, Joey Styles, for Jonathan Coachman, and Aiden English, we hope you like Impact or Hit. And we'll see you tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown.